Hello Aries, Aries Rising and Aries Moon people. This is your weekly astrological and card forecast for the week starting February 27th, 2017. A lot of sevens in there. So, it's the last week of this month, first week of March, and I've already got your astrology horoscopes up for March, so you should go check those out. They're under their own playlist on the main channel page. Remember, those are talking about the big sweeping angles. We've got an interesting month, to say the least. And of course, if you ever want to get a session with me, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com. So what's going on with your astrology this week? Well, this week in the very beginning, we have got Mars opposite Jupiter. Mars in your sign, and Jupiter currently retrograde in your 7th house of partnerships. And this is actually a really nice angle to have, because even though it's an opposition, we usually think oppositions are challenging, Jupiter really does make it all for the best. And whenever we have these angles come together, we've got some kind of backup coming your way, some kind of cavalry coming your way, either through a friend, like a best friend. Remember that your 7th house is all about your closest one-on-one relationships, best friend, BFF, boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife, business partner, roommate, all those kinds of things. And we've got backup coming your way. You know, if you need somebody to kind of step it up, or maybe you're not even asking for that kind of help, and they're going around behind your back with Jupiter retrograde, they are handling something for you, tackling a major obstacle, or maybe they've even gone out of their way behind your back to provide you with some unexpected assistance. So just be prepared. They may have actually had something really great in mind that is going to be a really nice benefit and a boon to you. But remember, it is backup. So in comes the cavalry. Later on in the week, we've got Mercury conjunct Neptune. And this is in your 12th house. And this can be kind of a murky area, you know, because I've noticed a lot over the last couple of weeks, even with you know, looking at comments and talking to people and real life and physical life and all of those kinds of things, folks have been having a hard time articulating, having a hard time getting down to brass tacks when it comes to talking about what they really feel or their real intentions. And when Mercury conjuncts Neptune, it can get all the more murky. And this has to do with your past, you know, your 12th house, your hidden zone. And somebody may be trying to confide a secret in you, or open up to you, perhaps even, you know, come clean to you, but it's not making a whole lot of sense. You know, it's almost like they're, you know, having a 2 bottles of wine into it kind of confession. But it's important to pay attention to why this person is trying to make a confession to you. And it may actually be something very important that you do need to know how to hold on to for them. This secret, whatever it is, gives you some insight into what's really going on with this person behind the scenes. And you may find out that this person is not as happy, or is not as... they're not in the same headspace as you've always thought they were. This doesn't necessarily have to be bad, you know, it's just basically a revealing of a certain place that this friend or this relative or this loved one is in. But it's very important to pay attention to when this comes out, because they do want to, again, break that ice with you. And with Mercury in your 12th house, people are going to be wanting to confess to you anyway. And but with Mercury conjunct Neptune, it's going to be kind of hard for them to put it into words that are completely comprehensible. So what is going on with your cards, then, this week? Well, we do have, for your spiritual advice, we've got the card of the Fairy Godmother. And again, when you have people and external influences working on your behalf, let them work on your behalf. You know, the Fairy Godmother didn't come in and ask, you know, like, say, Cinderella to give her a big laundry list of everything that she wanted. She kind of just stepped in and said, look, I got the plan, I got the answer. If you can just kind of step out of my way, I can make this better. And this might actually be a good lesson sometimes when we need to release control to people, because the Fairy Godmother talks about, you know, revelation, things being taken care of for you, but not necessarily by you. And sometimes we can have a hard time letting that be, because it doesn't feel very empowering to, you know, kind of defer when a person wants to help us out. We might not feel like they know what they're doing, or we might not necessarily feel like it's up to them. It's like, this is something I gotta do on my own. Well, make sure that's not in ego this week, because again, you do have protectors, you do have guardians, you do have a cavalry coming in for you this week. And I think that with the Fairy Godmother, it's kind of saying, you know, Don't get in the way of somebody who's trying to help you, but also be very happy that someone is. For your Earth sector, when it comes to your work and finances, we have the King of Swords upright. And this can be a nice card for those of you who are maybe looking to find a way to optimize either an employment opportunity or to advance yourself in your work, because the King of Swords is talking about somebody who is going out of their way to find some kind of loophole or technical assistance for you when it comes to getting you a job, getting you better pay, working things out for you, and keeping it on the level so that nobody can really challenge it. You know, because the King of Swords is considered an expert in a lot of ways, and I'm kind of feeling like this King of Swords is stepping up to your defense, they're stepping up to protect you, they're stepping up to help you. They may even, you know, have the opinion or the last word when it comes to you getting a hire, or you getting the project that you want, or you getting the schedule that you want, or the time off that you want, or the promotion that you want. But we have this guy stepping up and basically saying, no, this Aries gets what Aries, you know, has applied for, and this is why. So again, we've got that external assistance coming your way. And I think that with the King of Swords, if you know, again, don't be afraid to let this person kind of accomplish it the way they are going to accomplish it. At this point, the ends are totally worth it. For your communications with air, when it comes to your friends, your relatives, the others in your life, we do have the Knight of Cups reversed. So this card can indicate that when it comes to friends and relatives in your social life, you know, there could be a problem with somebody who is not necessarily, you know, wanting to fix themselves or fix a situation, but they do definitely want to dump. Now, sometimes that can be therapeutic for people, but it does feel like with the Knight of Cups reversed, this person may have, you know, gotten into a bad habit of simply not fixing a problem that they have, whether emotionally, with their relationships, with their own, you know, whatever's going on in their own lives, and they're just kind of turning a little bit into an emotional vampire. Now, this is somebody that's already in your close circle. This is definitely not like an evil, horrible person. But with the Knight of Cups reversed, we do have to pay attention to where this, you know, he or she is, again, it's sort of time-consuming, it's becoming more of a burden more and more. And we may have to actually, you know, have that frank discussion. Look, are you going to take responsibility? You know, are you going to stop being a victim? Are you going to stop allowing this to happen? Or maybe take responsibility for your part in this. You know, it may have to be a wake-up call for him or her. Most likely a water sign, a Cancer, Pisces, or a Scorpio. But with the Knight of Cups reversed, you know, be careful with this, okay? Because sometimes people will feel like you're turning on them when you're asking them to actually take responsibility. And so there could be a bit of a scuffle about that. I've had that happen before, but it's more important that they have that wake-up call, even if they don't appreciate it in the moment. Your challenge this week with fire is the Five of Pentacles reversed. Accepting help when help comes. You know, that's a very big thing that I think that sometimes, you know, when we want to come off as independent or empowered, we don't necessarily accept help that's being offered to us. You know, we're trying to prove we can get things done on our own. Now, the interesting thing is that when people want to help you, they're being generous, they're being charitable, they're being kind, they're being protective. And so rejecting that is to reject them. And your challenge this week is not to reject help that's being offered, not to reject assistance that's being given. You know, and it's not just an attitude of gratitude, it's an action of gratitude to be able to actually accept their gift and use it well. And sometimes we might feel like we don't want that. We don't want charity. We don't need your pity. We don't need this. Well, hold on a sec. This might not be about that. This might just be a testament of love and loyalty to you. And so your challenge this week with fire is, you know, with the Five of Pentacles reversed, people are going to be offering their help, offering to step up for you, offering to help, you know, kind of get something done, maybe even take things off your hands. So you don't want to hoard your burdens. Don't go volunteering people for it, though. That's not the same way. Let them volunteer themselves. If they volunteer themselves, that's good. Don't go dumping it on them, but you know what I mean. You're smart. For your emotions with water and your romantic life, you have the Two of Pentacles reversed. And this can be actually a good card for a lot of you Aries people who have been feeling like maybe there just hasn't been enough time or availability for you and a crush, or you and a lover, or you and a partner to actually get reacquainted, or even just have downtime for yourselves or each other. Because the Two of Pentacles reversed is saying it's time for the two of you to, maybe start taking that downtime together. We're kind of getting rid of a lot of distractions this week. If there have been distractions as far as you and a lover are concerned, maybe there's been too much going on at work, too much going on with family, it's been kind of getting in the way. The Two of Pentacles reverse says we're dropping the excess this week. We're actually going to get that downtime to not only recharge our batteries, but to charge each other's batteries, in a way. For those of you who are maybe playing the field a little bit, the Two of Pentacles reverse is kind of interesting, because it does say there will be clues this week. If you are having a hard time of deciding between a couple of potential partners, that decision may be made for you by the actions of one of those people. And so we may go down from juggling a few to finally finding out who. Alright? So that is your forecast, Aries. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. And of course, if you'd like to get a session, you can always follow the links below, or go to integratedmysticism.com.